So, how to increase speed in verbal? So, this is something that I see students asking me quite a lot. So, I thought of just letting you know the top 2 or 3 things that I talk about usually. There are many other things for that I need to know you personally, but these are general things that can really help you to improve your speed in verbal. So, the first thing is quickly eliminate red flags. It is important for you to understand there are certain answer choices which we call as trap answer choices, right? So, first thing is to understand what those trap answer choices are. There are, for instance, superlatives in reading comprehension. Then you have extremely emotional answers in reading comprehension, red flags, right? In critical reasoning, you would generally find that the red flags work. Like if you have most or all, generally, but not always, those kinds of options are wrong. So, eliminating options based on red flags really helps you to be able to narrow down your choices to 2 or 3 very, very quickly. In sentence correction, for instance, learn preferences, right? There's certain preferred constructions and certain not preferred constructions. So if you can learn preferences in sentence correction, that can again help you to narrow down your choices very, very quickly. So learn red flags and eliminate options based on red flags quickly. That will help you to narrow down your choices to usually 2 or 3 options. And then you can invest a bit of time to scrutinize those answer choices and figure out what's the right answer. Right. So that's what the second point here is. Patiently analyze the remaining options. Don't rush here. People opt for a completely opposite approach, which is just sometimes so impractical, where they spend time eliminating 3 options out of the 5, and then they rush to answer the question in the last two. And that makes no sense. The last 2 options are typically ones that are very close to one another. If you're not taking the time to analyze those options, how would you ever be able to get the right answer with confidence? So please, if you're doing this, you need to turn it upside down, right? You need to learn red flags, you need to learn preferences to eliminate the wrong options quickly, narrow it down to maybe the top 2 options or top 3 options, and then you patiently analyze those options. If you follow this approach, your overall time per question is going to be well within the stipulated time per question limit. And secondly, your accuracy is going to be up to the mark. You will not compromise on your accuracy. So don't take too much of time to narrow down to 2 options and then suddenly rush to answer the question. That doesn't work. Follow the exact opposite, where you quickly eliminate the 2 or 3 options containing red flags and then you analyze the remaining options patiently. Really, really important. In sentence correction, meaning is of the utmost importance, especially in sentence correction. A lot of people, they just rely on grammar rules to ace the sentence correction section. And you may be able to get even 100% accuracy on the official guide questions that are there. But official guide questions are not representative of the hard questions that you see on the exam. Official guide questions are generally easier. And if you have taken the exam, you would probably be able to understand what I'm saying here, that official guide questions are generally easier. They're not representative of the level of questions you will see on the exam. So it's important for you to understand that if you can answer those questions with grammar, the official questions with grammar, on the exam, grammar alone won't be able to help you to get the answer. You need to pay attention to context and meaning to be able to answer the question. And this is huge on the exam, by the way. I'm not sure how much of this you've paid attention to, but meaning is huge on the exam. So pay attention to context, read sentences until the last word. That's what brings me to the last point here. A lot of people, in the rush of answering a sentence correction question, only read either the underlined portion, or they read the first half and the underlined portion, but they skip over on the part that comes after the underlined portion. And that is, again, not going to help you to get the overall context, right? I mean, if you haven't even read the whole sentence, how can you understand the meaning? Even one word at the end of the sentence can completely alter the meaning of the sentence. So you have to pay attention to the overall sentence to be able to get the context. If you don't get the context, you won't get to understand the meaning, and then you will get stuck in the last 2 answer choices trying to figure out which one is the correct one. It's important for you to also focus on keywords, which we've talked about. Keywords such as but, yet, however, these words are the locations where you find the author's main point. Mentally summarizing each paragraph in RC helps a great deal. Don't write anything down. That's the worst suggestion that anyone can give you. If somebody is asking you to make notes, I don't think that person has written the exam or understands how much of a waste of time that is. So please don't write anything down. It's mentally summarizing each paragraph in RC helps a great deal to just run through your head in terms of what you read. That will help you with the overall retention and will also help you to be able to neatly follow the flow of the passage. On the first read, you should be able to get the gist of the passage. So you don't have to speed read it and read it like 2 or 3 times to get the idea. Even if you read it slow, but you read it attentively the first time, you'll be able to get done with it a lot faster. Don't get into the habit of reading something 2 or 3 times over. That's again a suicidal mistake that people make, where they end up reading the argument 2 times over in critical reasoning. They end up reading passages 2 times over in math, and then they wonder that why are they not able to finish off the section on time? Because you're reading everything twice. You're supposed to read it once, and even if you have to read it slow and you read it attentively, you'll be able to get the answer within time. A lot of people ask me, should we pre-think the answers in critical reasoning? I honestly think in some questions, the easier ones where the gap is so obvious and stark, you can use pre thinking where you can just try to think of what the answer should provide you with. But in most questions, it doesn't work. I've seen it wastes a lot of time and it reduces accuracy. Let the options guide you. That's actually a much better approach, a much more efficient approach to get the answer.